Welcome to the Middle-Raged podcast, where your hosts, Adam and Keith, get a bit cross about stuff that really doesn't matter. Bless them. Oh, and we should probably warn you that things can be a bit sweary at times.
Hello and welcome to this episode 12 of the Middle Rage podcast with me, Keith A. Pearson, and my agitated co-host, Adam Eccles.
Good evening. Good evening. Here we are, right on time. Bang on time when we're supposed to be, which is a new thing. We don't even have to apologise this time. It's amazing, isn't it?
Not about that we don't, but there's... we'll discover there are other apologies to make.
Yeah, but we are punctual this time. So, yeah, loving it.
This is it. This is us going forward.
Indeed. Evening session again. Unbelievable. It's nice and dark. You know,
yeah.
We're not morning angry. Is that the word?
We've had it festering all day. So I think you get a better quality of rant at this time of day. Do you agree?
You got that deep evening rant.
And post-dinner, you've also got slight indigestion just to, help things on their way. Just something else to be pissed off about.
There you go. And there might even be the odd beer floating around. You never know.
Oh, I see. That's why you were so long, isn't it? Adam pissed off a minute ago. He just left me sat here. I didn't realise he was off. Honestly, he was gone so long. He may as well have gone to the actual pub. Where's your nearest pub?
I'm not really sure. There's sort of a house which may or may not be also a pub just down the road, but realistically it's probably about 5 miles away.
That's not a walk home, is it?
God, no, not in this weather. No.
Let's not complain about the weather.
No.
Right, so should we kick off with? I think we've got some feedback, haven't we?
Yeah, there's a bit of information, right? A bit of follow up as well. So last time we talked about the horrificness of flavors in Kit Kats, especially, right? And I didn't realise, but I've done some homework investigation since. And it turns out that Kit Kats are indeed available in the flavours you mentioned here in Ireland. So, just in case anyone was upset
in
about
Ireland,
that.
Wanting what was it, orange or dark mint?
Dark mint, orange. I think there's a white one as well, and something like that.
Did your investigation go as far as the Jaffa cake section?
Oh yeah, as well. Actually, yes, I did. And there's cherry. I forgot to take a picture of this, but there's something called a Joe Nut. You heard of that?
Yes. Is this a cross between a Jaffa cake and basically it's a Jaffa cake in a donut shape?
Donut shape, but it just looks like it's going to be manky.
What is the fucking point? If you want a donut, have a donut. Yeah. We're just repeating ourselves.
We are, yeah. But these things, what I wanted to say is these things are indeed available in Ireland. Despite me not knowing about them, because probably I don't go down that aisle, but
now we know.
Now we know, right? So
people have possibly been ranting about this for months, and we were just unaware of it because we've never ventured down that particular aisle.
So the rot has spread over the Irish Sea, and here we are. Yeah,
sad state of affairs.
There's one other thing as well, the custard cream, the dear old custard cream. Somebody at a large famous supermarket was tasked with reinventing the custard cream. And this was brought to my attention by a colleague, hello Ian, the custard cream, they won some kind of Innovators Award. And what did they do to win this? They thought, let's dunk the custard cream in chocolate.
Fuck.
That's just, what are you doing? That's innovation for you these days. Innovation.
It's... I don't know where to be. I mean, firstly, leave the fucking custard cream alone.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my first point. And secondly, what's chocolate bringing to the table?
Yeah, nothing. That's ruining the experience. Like, if you've got the custard in the middle... Just, how you...
It's enough sweetness.
Yeah, it's just ruined it in my. So yeah, innovation.
So the supermarket gave them an Innovator of the Year award,
something like that,
to the individual who come up with this.
Yeah, unbelievable. Let's just take. What else are they going to dunk in chocolate? Just don't want to be around there. No.
Idiots.
And there's one last thing. Somebody, I think it was Sue, actually mentioned that washing machines. I was lamenting the time dilation of washing machines, and so Sue said she calls them mummy minutes, which I thought was nice and cute. So yeah, they're mummy minutes because they're like, kids says. Can you get me something? See. And in a minute.
You could also call them spousal minutes, couldn't you?
I suppose so. Yeah. Just,
will you be long? A couple of minutes.
Yeah.
How long did you last? Sorry, I don't know where that came from. Should we move swiftly on?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, also following on from last episode. And now we have a customary apology to make to our lovely benefactor in the last episode. We called her Evelyn, didn't we?
Yeah.
Or I did. I don't know if we both did.
I certainly did.
It is indeed actually Evelyn.
Evelyn, right.
Well, I say that, okay. I haven't actually had oral qualification of that.
Good to know.
Evelyn did say it's Evie-Lynn, so Evelyn. That's how it reads to me. Would you agree?
Yeah. I'm kind of a bit lost on.
Yeah,
it's open to interpretation, I think. But okay,
I probably need to check. Do we have a refund policy though on the coffees?
No, I mean those are drunk, right? Those are
they're gone. They're spent.
Sorry. But possibly. A pint at some point can be purchased.
Well, I think if I'm ever, next time I find myself in the Republic of Ireland, I will buy Evelyn an actual coffee, maybe even a sticky bun, just as a way of apology. How about that?
Can't beat that, can you?
Can't get better than that, can you?
Yeah, rock and roll.
That's how sorry we are. I am. Okay, so as we don't actually have any roastings this week. If you'd like to get involved, where do they go?
It's buymeacoffee.com/middle-raged. And you
Excellent.
can...
Right, well, there you go. If you want your roasting, if you want your name butchered in every conceivable way, then we're your guys.
I suppose if you've got a name that has a particular pronunciation, maybe include some kind of directions on that, because we're...
Yeah, spell it phonetically, because we're idiots, clearly.
Yeah.
So in lieu of that, I was hoping I could just squeeze in, I'm going to call it a micro rant, if that's okay.
Right.
And it is name related, because I hate my name. And I don't know what was going through my parents' minds when they looked at me as an infant, as a baby, a newborn. I thought, he looks like a Keith. I don't get it. I really, really, really don't like my name. It's not you can do anything with it either. I mean, it's just deeply uncool for starters. And you can't just sort of, if your name is, I don't know, for example, Michael, you can be Mike, you can be Mick, you can be Mickey.
Yeah.
My brother is James.
Right,
James, Jamie, Jim, fucking Jiminy, Jim Giroux. I mean, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you reckon you got the short straw there?
Oh, 100%. I did, and it just feels like it's in the same sort of bracket as a Nigel and a Malcolm and a Jeff. I think we're all kind of stuck, really.
Malk.
Yeah, Malk.
Nidge.
Jeff, you can't do fuck with Jeff, can you?
No, not really.
Nigel, I suppose you could be a Nige, but
I can't think of any. I suppose you could just spell it Keef. K-E-E. What am I saying? K.
I did. I have a confession to make. I did at one point when, if I'd have thought about it, because when I published my first novel, it was only ever going to be one novel, so I didn't really think. I thought I'd stick my name on it. If I'd have known that it was actually going to turn into a career, I'd have chosen, I don't know, something like Kiefer or something like that, or K. Andrew Pearson, or anything but my actual name. So,
well, okay. There's time yet.
do you? I mean, Adam's that's just a good, solid name, isn't it?
I mean,
Can't be messed around with, really.
I suppose not. I used to be called Ads, by my parents and family.
Dear.
Ads.
Can I ask you a question? Which if you haven't been asked this before,
Yes,
I will be absolutely amazed. But if you were in the market for, say, you're on a dating website and you're approached, would you be less or equally or uninclined to date someone called Eve?
So I'm not religious in any kind of way, so I wouldn't really make any odds. Yeah, but no, I've never been in a relationship with an Eve. I used to. So when I was 17, I worked in a hotel, and got the job. Met the waitress was this lovely old lady, probably in her 70s at that point, and I was 17, and she said,
"Are you going to tell us some sort of Mrs. Robinson type tale here?"
No, I was very innocent, 17-year-old. Well, so she introduced herself. Hello, I'm Eve. I'm the waitress, and said, "Oh, hello, I'm Adam." And she was like, "You're fucking kidding me." I was like, "What? Oh, I see. Okay, no, that's my actual name." Yeah. So, but yeah.
I mean, it would be. I mean, if your name is Eve and you'd like to have a trial relationship with Adam just for my own amusement, then please do send us a line. Get in touch via Twitter or Facebook.
Send pictures.
Please, send pictures. I just think how long would that remain unfunny for? Or how long would that remain amusing for? I would say about
10 seconds.
2 days.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's... I'm sure.
Can you
it's
imagine
happened.
you're going to dinner parties or something, and it's Adam and Eve?
Yeah, I'm quite sure it's happened, right? But I know some people called Joseph and Mary.
Do you?
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah. Well,
Come on, please tell me. What's the name of their firstborn son?
Not Jesus. I think it's Jer.
That's I couldn't if I was Joseph married to Mary.
Yeah,
I
you'd
couldn't
be
not.
tempted, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Who's the guy who did Jesus over? What was his name? The one who he did something. I can't remember his name now. I can't even get my words out. Who's
Judas?
the guy who
Judas?
Who?
Judas?
Judas. That's it. I think I'd go with Judas.
Yeah.
Just to be different, controversial.
Jehovah.
And one final point regarding names.
Yes.
So my daughter, who is possibly as odd as I am, we play this game where we challenge one another to find people on Facebook with what we consider particularly amusing names.
Yeah, right.
But the only rule is they have to be of British origin.
Oh, well, that's narrows it down a bit, doesn't it?
Kind of world that we live in now.
Yes.
You can't go taking the piss out of Wan King from South Korea. It's just frowned upon.
Right.
So, would you like to know the two leading contenders, the one each that we've chosen?
Well, definitely, yeah.
So Grace's current contender for the most amusing name that we've found on Facebook. And these are genuine names, okay? These are actual people on Facebook. And in both instances, there are multiple people with this name. It's not just sort of random, somebody's put it there. So Grace has unearthed Timmy Tingle.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's good, isn't it?
That was not what I expected. That is a good one. Timmy Tingle.
Timmy Tingle. Yeah. If you're listening, Timmy, sorry, but can't deny it's not funny. Timmy Tingle. I mean, if your surname was Tingle, would you call yourself Timmy?
Timmy.
Tim Tingle? It sounds slightly less comedic, doesn't it?
Brilliant.
Okay, right.
Brilliant.
Let's see how it stacks up against mine.
Okay.
And mine is Julie Dooley.
Oh, okay.
And there are lots and lots of Julie Dooleys on
Dooley.
Facebook.
How do you spell that?
So it's Julie, and then Dooley is Doolie.
Oh, okay.
Dooley. So Julie Dooley.
Dooley. Brilliant.
Now, let me ask you a question. And dear listeners, please chip in with this, right? If your name was Julie and you were going out with a guy called, let's call him Gary Dooley, right?
Gary Dooley, yeah, solid bloke.
Going to get married.
Yeah.
Would you think twice about taking his surname?
I mean, it depends on if she's up for a laugh. Like,
what, her whole fucking life?
Her whole life, yeah. Oh dear, poor Julie Dooley. Okay,
anyway,
so I've got a couple to squeeze in then, right?
Go on, please.
When I was at school, there was a girl called Wendy House.
No.
Yeah. And when I was at college, there was a kid called Richard Head.
What goes through people's minds when they're naming their kids? Do they just not? Wendy fucking House.
Yeah, pretty bad.
At no point did anyone within either the parents or the wider family.
Yeah, or the registrar even, like, he taking the piss.
Wendy House and Richard Head. I mean,
that's
come
brutal.
on.
That is just...
What sort of sheltered existence have you had that you wouldn't make the association? He's going to be called Dickhead.
Yeah, brutally, taking the mick of.
I would guess.
Yeah.
Did you say you met? It was somebody you knew at school.
College. That he was at college. Yeah. So he was 16, 17 at that point. But yeah, I mean, who knows what?
Was he still suffering at that point?
I mean, yeah, it was printed on. So I was at Chef College, right? So you had to wear chef whites, and you had to get your name embroidered.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know what? 100%. As soon as I was conscious, I would have gone, my name's Ricky.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't want... Yeah, I mean, but even so, it's... If your name is Head, I mean, it's unusual enough as it is, but yeah.
But there's probably older ones. Bob
Head?
I was going to go somewhere else then, but it's too early in the evening. We don't have the certification for...
Right.
So maybe we should move on. I've just been censored.
Right. Well, so this is the Halloween episode, so let's have a bit of spooky. Anyway.
Oh, fuck. I forgot.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to come out, what? When is Halloween?
Oh, yeah.
Monday? I don't know.
Is that the level of our Halloweenness?
Oh, I think that's plenty, isn't it?
Okay, yeah, fine. All right. I don't want to go for board. I don't want to be too commercialised with this stuff. Just to round off that last point, if you know anyone
with a stupid name,
with a name that you feel outdoes Timmy Tingle or Julie Dooley, please do let us know via X, Twitter, or Facebook.
I reckon Grace has won that, though, really, Timmy Tingle.
Should be
he's a character from a children's book.
It does sound like it, doesn't it?
I reckon he runs around ancient London lighting gas lights.
And looking in little boys' and girls' windows.
Yes, see if they're see if they're going to bed on time or something like that. Like, yeah, definitely.
Yes, a touch of the Savills about that, isn't there? Sorry, Timmy, if you're listening.
Yes. Anyway, right.
No offence intended. Should we get on with some ranting?
Yeah, let's talk about some rants.
All right. So what's got your goat this week?
Well, so yeah. So
yes. That's not Bjork, is it?
No. This is
okay.
This is just a nice wind background, right? Because that's enough of that. My rage point this episode is the ridiculousness of storm naming and weather warnings. So this is something that has come to be, I don't know, in the last few years, really. I don't remember this happening in my youth.
No.
But, you get a storm prediction, and it gets a human name. And I think this is I always struggle pronouncing this word, but the anthropomorphism. I get that. Anthropomorphism.
Who's going to argue? It's not going to be me, is it? And everyone else is just there listening. So
you're shouting at
shouting at their device.
Yeah,
it sounds good to me.
Yeah.
It's no worse than Evelyn, is it? Or Evelyn. So
Right.
let's run with it.
So so the anthropomorphism of everything has permeated to weather systems, and this is just utterly ridiculous if you ask me, right? This is poignant because just last Sunday there was one here called, is it Ashley?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Storm Ashley.
Ashley continued on his path into the UK.
Yeah, well, I thought Ashley was a girl's name. Is it not?
I spelled different. I think Ashley, Leigh. I think that's the female variant. I may be wrong.
Oh, right.
Ashley sounds like a very American girl's name, like a high school girl's name.
Yeah. Ash. And Storm Ashley. It's just, why do we need this? Why do we need to give a bunch of wind a name? Just so
I don't. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. But so I've done some digging, and there seems to be the Met Office of the UK and Ireland have maybe come together on this, and they've put together a list of names that will be used for future storms. So that just like it's not just like picked at random. They've got these planned out. So
these bastards got way too much time on their hands.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When it's sunny, they're just sitting there like, what should we come up with? But so some of the future names that are going to be given to future storms that haven't even, blown their first fart yet, right?
Please, Timmy Tingle.
Timmy Tingle. Yeah.
Give the whole country a laugh.
Yeah. No, so we've got. So we've already had Ashley. So I don't know if some of these may have been used. But we've got Bert, Storm Bert. That's just stupid. Hugo.
Okay, it's very middle class storm. That one.
Yeah. Poppy. Again, that doesn't
Storm Poppy.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a storm, does it? It's too nice. And there's some Irish ones. Owen. Spelt the weird way. Dara.
Yeah.
Kaylee.
Can you do them in an Irish accent?
I better not, because I'll probably get lynched. Kaylee, that's, Kaylee
I'm so
sounds
sorry
like,
that I met you.
Yeah. Do you remember? There's quite a few, and I won't go all of them. But right, there's one here which I just find really ridiculous. Mavis. Mavis is not a storm.
No, Mavis works in a library or a tea room.
Exactly, right? Or the local
dinner
shop.
lady.
Yeah. She does. Mavis is not
Not
a
the
storm.
sexy one either.
No. Yeah. So
they're slightly weird names, though, aren't they? In as much as see, when they were, we never really had names for the various COVID variants, did we? I mean, until I may be wrong. I think they were just called. What were they called? The various variants.
I have no idea.
They were like, I think they were named after countries of origin, weren't they?
Oh, were they?
Yeah, I think that was how they were.
I thought they
something
just got
variant.
scientific numbers or something. I don't know.
So it was COVID-19, and it was I don't know the Danish variant. Or
right.
But at some point, they came out with Omicron.
Oh, that's a sort.
Do you remember Omicron?
Yeah. That sounds like it's from a really terrible movie.
It does, but it sounds sounds sinister, doesn't it?
Yes.
And I think I may be wrong, but it was one of the sort of weaker sort of tail end variants,
right.
So where it's sort of blown itself out a bit. But of all the variants, I thought Omicron sounded the nastiest.
Yeah, it does.
That sounded like the one that would kill, many people. And I do wonder why they haven't gone down that same route with storms.
COVID Mavis.
Why are you something that is actually dangerous? I mean, these things are pretty potent, aren't they?
Some can be.
They are a risk to life in some circumstances. Yes. You can't send out a fucking red warning and then say Mavis is on her way. It just
is she bringing a cake?
Yeah, she's trundling very slowly.
Yeah,
I don't think it instills the sense of concern that we should probably have.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's just this sort of, as I say, this anthropomorphism. What's the purpose of that, right? And I dug into what they think the purpose is, and it says the UK Met Office head of situational awareness.
That's a real job.
Apparently, that's a job. Yeah, the situational awareness. I wonder if he knows what's going on. He says this is the 10th. So it's been going for 10 years. This is the 10th year of us naming storms, and we do it because it works. What? How does it?
Can I just throw something in here, right? Because this has actually just given me a little bit of inspiration. That at some point we have to have an entire episode dedicated to non-jobs, because this is
good idea.
Just getting ridiculous now. There are so many of them. I reckon one episode we should have some specials or something where we just list
stupid things. Yes.
I think somebody else brought up it was Sue, wasn't it? About moving home, and I think we can all agree that's a whole episode worth of ranting and raving.
Definitely, yeah. That's
sorry, but not as a non-job.
Yeah, head of situational awareness. Come on, I wonder what the salary's like for that. I mean, just anyway. Naming storms helps us to make communication of severe weather easier and provides clarity when people could be impacted by the weather. I don't think that's true. That just
even
seems
if it
stupid.
Were, why would you not just call them Alpha?
Yeah,
go through the alphabet.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, because Mavis, it's stupid, right? Ashley, whatever, right? Come on.
Why are they even? They're such random names, aren't they? There's not as though there's any. It's like they've opened up a book of baby names from 1971 and just stuck a pin in it.
Exactly. Well, it's probably that they've gone to some school kids and said, "Do you want to name a storm?" They're like, "Ooh, yeah, let's do that." There's one Vivian.
Vivian.
It's weird.
No one's been called Vivian since 1974. Except the storm, obviously.
Kaylee, even that's anyway. So I think
girl at school, wasn't it? The popular one that somebody fingered behind the bike sheds.
Dear. So the other part of this, names I think are really just pointless. I don't understand why we need to do that. You can still communicate that there's bad weather coming. Actually, do you remember? You probably do. Where's my note here? There was a storm in 1987.
You're going to go Michael Fish, aren't you?
It was in the south of the UK, and I was at school back then in good old 1987, and I remember trying to go to school, but there was trees down everywhere, and it was horrific, right? So apparently it mostly hit the south of the UK and the north of France. It was October 15th, 1987, an extratropical cyclone bringing hurricane force winds across South England and northern France. So wind speeds reached up to 115 miles an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, caused widespread destruction. Remember that there's a place called Sevenoaks in the UK, isn't there?
In Kent, yeah.
Yeah, so I think some of those Sevenoaks blew down on that storm. That's how bad.
How many are left?
Don't know. Didn't get that. I think if you live in Kent, how many oaks have you got left?
They obviously didn't rename the town.
No. But yeah, so this is one of the most significant storms that the UK have had in living memory, right? And do you know what it was called?
Please tell me it was Keith.
It's the Great Storm of 1987.
Okay.
So look,
right.
we didn't need to give it a name like Debbie, or Francine, or Helene.
But that was a retrospective name, wasn't it? Because nobody knew it was going to be the Great Storm of 1987.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we didn't have the accurate predictions that.
I mean, was there a mediocre storm of 1986?
There might have been
insipid storm of 83?
Piss poor fart of 92. But yeah, look, it is possible to have a bad storm and not give it a name, right? So just bear that in mind, Met Office. And the other part of my rage point, right, is that I frequently get weather warnings, right? I live in the middle of nowhere, right? So it's not unusual for there to be bad weather. But we now get seemingly a weather warning because, there's some rain coming.
You live in Ireland.
Yeah, it's always raining. You don't, and my phone is like, lighting up, and there's a big exclamation point and on the weather app, and it's like, there's an orange rain warning. What the hell is that?
Do you know what? The cynic in me thinks that maybe they're doing this to just try and put us all into a perpetual state of concern about the environment, that we're willing to suck up any type of environmental taxation and other
possibly
chicanery.
Possibly.
Because I can remember as a child, it fucking raining and raining and raining.
Yeah.
And as you say, the storm of 87 was just, there's going to be a storm.
Yeah.
Or not, actually, as they predicted. But now you're absolutely right. I have Alexa almost every week now. She'll chirp up a weather warning.
Yeah.
And it's inevitably just it's going to rain or it's going to be a bit windy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Or foggy. What? A foggy?
Fog.
I mean, what are you supposed to do with that?
Yeah. And it's just what I think is happening here, right, is that we've got the cry wolf factor, because it is constantly popping up with, it's going to be a bit rainy or a bit windy. Like, so what? Just get on with your life. What do you expect?
They're just reporting weather, aren't they?
Yeah,
essentially in alert format.
Yes, it's pointless because these are just normal events that take place, in your life.
Do you know the one that pisses me off the most?
Go on.
Is thunderstorms.
Right.
I mean, so?
Yeah.
What are you doing with that information?
Yeah.
Are you going to not go outside?
I don't know.
Don't go standing on top of a hill and fly a kite.
Yeah, fly a kite.
I mean, literally, that's the only people that will be going, oh, yeah, that's useful. No one else is adjusting their behaviour because of thunderstorms, are they? Or mist or fog.
Yeah. In places where you don't often get snow, right? Which is here for sure. It seems like one snowflake and the whole country shuts down. It's like it seems bizarre, but when you're not set up for snow, everyone just freaks out and panics. You can't drive.
Yeah.
The roads are not gritted or anything. Schools are closed.
I mean, nobody would want to suggest that this is heavily driven by people just wanting a day off.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, nobody who works from home or for themselves in any self-employed capacity is shitting the bed because there's been 2 mil of snow.
Exactly.
A slight dusting.
Yes. So, I mean, last weekend I was concerned that the wind was so bad that my power might go out, right, which happens here a lot. But it didn't. So I didn't get a day off work.
Bastards.
But yeah, so just, I think that I think what's happening is, we're going to get the cry wolf. When there is a really bad thing going to come, you're going to bleat on about it and nobody will care because it's like, oh, wow, you said that, you said there was going to be red wind and yellow rain and,
Yeah.
right? And nothing happened. Snow, whatever. Yeah, I get on with my life. But then you get the storms that really do hit and they're bad and you just go out because you need milk and... then shit happens.
But has there ever been a storm? I mean, it's not when you saw what happened in Florida recently, that was a storm.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, if you went outside, you were literally taking your life into your own hands. That's almost suicidal to go outside.
Yeah.
I've been out in it, I think, many British, Irish storms, and okay, it's,
bit windy. Yeah.
Bit windy, bit rainy. It's,
Yeah. Yeah, I went out I went out the back door on Sunday and I got blown a bit, but
oh my God.
Yeah, it's not.
We should clip that bit up.
No, I mean it's just calm down. So I think the nub of this, right, is that the weather, like everything else, has become overly sensationalized,
catastrophized.
Yeah. Right, because I don't know who makes money off of the weather being bad, but I suppose people watch the weather more or something, and and they're all freaking out about it, and it just
isn't it like every year? So in about February, no, probably about March, every news outlet will say something about a what do they call it? Like a scorching heat wave summer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like every year.
Yeah.
Meteorologists are predicting the hottest summer on record. Weeks of scorching temperatures up in the 90s.
Mm.
And they do this safe in the knowledge that A, no one will remember, and B, that people go, oh, and they'll share it. And then they do the same again in sort of September, don't they? They go, the UK is going to be blanketed with 2 feet of snow, or it's they do it all of the time, just purely for clickbait.
Exactly. That's what it's turned into. I think that's what the nub of this is, right? The real reason nobody cares, I suppose, if there's a nameless atmospheric pressure system coming, but if Ashley's coming to fuck shit up, right, then maybe we listen. Or that's something to do. Oh, Ashley's coming, right? Well, better.
It's like giving them celebrity status.
Yeah.
It's a fucking weather event.
Yeah. It's not a sentient thing, and you can't turn it into one. So stop doing it. Just today I got a rain warning, and then you dig into it. It's like heavy and persistent rain, possible impacts, localized flooding, difficult traveling conditions. It's just normal rain. If I listened to every warning that my devices gave me about the weather, I would just stay home. I think I'll just stay home.
How long have there been Homo sapiens on this planet? Is it about 300,000 years?
Something like that, yeah.
Isn't it amazing that for 99.99999% of that time, we've managed to survive without this shit?
Yeah, without worrying about the red rain. That's
the yellow ones. I mean, it's the yellow ones. If something really serious is coming in, fine, let us know. We don't need the yellow, do we? That's just weather.
Yeah.
It's just
normal,
superfluous.
Yeah. Yellow rain, you don't. That's something else.
The orange one, kind of indifferent about that one personally.
Yeah, I mean,
just tell us when it's red.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't even know what those color codes. Really. I mean, do you have green? Green wind?
I think green would just be
nice day.
Everything's cool.
Yeah, nice day, 16 degrees. Yeah.
Bit nippy.
Well, I mean,
bit nippy out. That would be green, I guess.
I don't.
Better put a cardi on.
Yeah, there you go. I don't like hot weather, but there's no warnings about it's going to be,
this
yellow
is where
sun.
you're wrong. There are red there. Yeah, there was. I'm sure we had. I mean, we haven't had a summer for a while, but I'm sure it may have been last year. No, it must have been the year before because this summer was atrocious, wasn't it? So I say it's atrocious. It suited me down to the ground, but it wasn't a lot of hot weather. I think last year there was an amber warning for heat.
Was there? Oh,
yeah.
So that's amber now.
Yeah,
so we've switched to a different medium.
So So we've got yellow, amber, and red over here. This is it's
there were traffic lights. No,
traffic lights.
Those are green, aren't they? Yeah. Amber. Oh, it's I don't know. Zebra crossings. Is it? I don't know. One of those.
No, it's a yellow. Yeah.
Okay.
Then amber.
Right.
And then red. Think of it like a rainbow sort of.
Okay.
Yeah. So yellow realistically is nothing. I mean, basically they've just put normal weather into yellow, and they just gives them a reason to say, "Oh, it's going to rain later. Be prepared." Right. I think is the catchphrase they use. Be prepared. Yeah. So be prepared. Take out an umbrella. Don't know. Put some sunscreen on. Don't know what else you can do about that, really.
Yeah, just stay in. Yeah.
Be prepared.
Be prepared.
Orange isn't really much different, I suppose. And they're rare, and red. I can't even remember that red last one. We had a red time.
If you have red sun, I suppose that's quite scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, I was just thinking about some sort of doomsday prophecy.
So yes. Look, this is the nub of my thing. I think it's all pointless, ridiculous, over sensationalized, unnecessarily anthropomorphized, and it's going to have the opposite effect. It's going to make people think of the you're just crying wolf, and they won't listen when they need to listen. So I just think we should stop this.
So stop it.
Yeah, and get on with your life. I'm sure we managed at least 40 years of life without worrying about naming storms. So I don't know why it works. I don't agree with the head of situational awareness.
We should write to him and say, could you situationally aware yourself of naming one of your storms after our podcast?
There you go.
We might be more forgiving.
The middle range storm.
Yeah, it doesn't work, does it? Keith, Adam?
Yeah. Well, maybe there will be. Or has been, I don't know.
I would like my name to be used for, I don't know, something more cataclysmic, like a comet.
Do you know when there's like some horrible serious illness and it's got a name, somebody's name, I'm always like, if I discovered some weird illness, I don't want to be named. I don't want it to be named after me.
You've got the Eccles.
You've got Eccles disease. Oh, Christ. That sounds bad, doesn't it?
Terrible case of the Eccles.
Yeah. Touch of it.
Especially if it was an STI. I mean, God.
Christ. Yeah.
She's got the Eccles.
Why do we need to name things after people? I just there's lots of other options for naming things. Just be a bit more creative.
Latin. I think the whole Latin thing was probably okay, wasn't it? Yeah, we didn't have to bother ourselves with any of that.
It's confusing and just complicated.
Tuck it all away. Forget about it.
Yeah. Right. So that's me. My storm has burnt out, and now it's a nice calm 18 degrees.
Plain sailing now. The clouds have passed. This is the calm after the storm.
That's it.
It's not though, is it?
Was
that you winding again?
Yeah, just a little bit of wind.
It was more of a guff than a gust.
It's a nice Halloween storm. All right, enough of that. Right.
Oh, okay. So my rage this week is, let me start. So do you know that trope that we all carry around in our pockets, a device which has more processing computing power than the collective Apollo space missions.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You've heard that trope.
Oh,
yeah?
absolutely. Yeah.
So essentially, what that is basically saying is that it's an indicator, a very simple indicator of how technology has advanced so massively since the sort of 70s,
Yes.
60s, 70s. And if you think about it, I mean, indeed, we have advanced in many, many ways, medicine, tech, science, all sorts of things. The one thing that we have not advanced, in fact, you can argue we've regressed in, is transportation. And I'm talking specifically of the transportation of humans.
Right.
So when I was a kid, I presumed, so we're talking 7 or 8.
Right.
Yeah, that sort of age.
Yeah.
So we're going back to sort of mid-ish 70s sort of thing. Yeah. I thought by now that we would be teleporting. I thought genuinely you'd be able to push a button and then just plug in your destination, push a button, and you could go to, I don't know, you could have a night out in Las Vegas and be tucked up in bed by midnight. That's what I thought.
Right. Makes sense. Because, Star Trek, they were doing it in the 60s. Yeah. Yeah. Why?
So, that was what I expected.
Yeah.
What I've actually got is last week, where it took me 26 minutes to drive 1.2 miles. 26 minutes.
Yeah.
And I live in a village in the arse end of Surrey.
Right.
Okay, so it's not like I live central bloody London.
Yeah.
But it is now, the traffic is so bad around here that it's just getting anywhere is it's unbearable. I mean, it would have been, and this comes to the point, it would have been quicker to walk. I mean, literally would have been quicker to walk or to use a horse and cart.
Right.
So we've actually regressed to the point where we are no more advanced than our medieval ancestors when it comes to travel.
That's quite depressing, isn't it?
It is. Now, when you expand this, so just getting from A to B on the roads, that's bad enough. But then you look, so the year that you and I were born, sort of early 70s, right? You could get on a plane and take off in London and land in New York 3 hours later. Right?
Oh, on the Concorde.
Yeah. Today, 50-something years on, that flight, same distance, will take you, give or take, 8 hours.
Yeah, I know. Oh, don't get me. So...
Here we go.
Yeah.
Wound you up.
So what pisses me off most about air travel isn't even, I mean, yes, it's terribly slow, like when you're going on a long flight over the Atlantic especially, right? But it's not even that. It's all of the peripheral bollocks. So, you have to, this is probably going to be a separate episode at some point as well. Right? But definitely, right? I live about 70 minutes drive away from the airport.
Geographically, how far is that? Distance-wise?
I think it's about 50 or 60 kilometres, something like that.
Okay. Speak English, man. This is the UK.
40 miles or something. Something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it takes me an hour and a bit to get there, right? And that's if I can go from Shannon. If I have to go from Dublin, well, that's a whole different ball game, right? 5 hours. But you have to get to the airport. They want you there 2 hours before your flight.
Parking.
Yeah, you have
no easy feat, is it?
Do you know, just another aside, I once flew from Heathrow to Ireland, and before I lived here, but long time ago, right? But I made the mistake of parking at Heathrow. It took me longer to get from the car park to the terminal building than the actual flight to Ireland.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Yeah. It's all of this peripheral bollocks. So you think, okay, well, the flight is 8 hours, right? That's bad enough. But you need to be there 2 hours before. It takes an hour and a bit to get there. And then when you land, so I flew to Chicago recently. It took me an hour and a half to get from the Chicago, to departing from the plane to get to where the rental car place was. Because it's a massive...
90 minutes.
Yeah. Massive airport. You don't really know where you're going. You have to walk miles and miles carrying bags. And then you have to go up and down lifts, which are badly signed. Then you have to get on a little train that goes all the way over to where the car place is. So like it's a whole adventure just to go and get your bloody car. And that's before you've gone anywhere. So we're now at, what is that, like 10...
4 hours on top of the actual journey time. You've got to be looking at 4 hours.
Yeah, at least.
A couple of hours either side.
At least. And, so now you're up to 12. 12 fucking hours. And
that doesn't include you getting from the airport to wherever you're actually going. Your actual ultimate desdestination is the airport.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming there's some onward travel as well.
Exactly. So I've also I do a lot of travel for work, and I have to go to Poland sometimes, or even Amsterdam, some places in, not Amsterdam, but places in Holland. It takes me 12 hours door to door to go to those places. Like, and you just think
ridiculous.
Like, why? Because the actual flight might be an hour and a half, 2 hours max. But yeah, it's all the peripheral shite, and that's what kills.
I saw an online advert the other day for weekend breaks, long weekend. In fact, it said long weekend breaks to New York from $399 per person.
Right.
I was thinking, what sort of fucking psychopath goes on long weekend break to New York?
I mean, you wouldn't even get out of jet lag, period.
No, I mean, it would be horrific. You would just go turn up after 12 hours of actual travel.
Yeah.
You would then, your body clock would be shot for 2 days. And then you do it all over again. And then you've been absolute wreck by the Tuesday.
Yeah. It's going to be a red eye on the way back as well. It always is.
Of course it is. You're going to feel like absolute death for about a week.
Yeah. Because no matter what you do, it's very hard, I find, at least, to sleep on a plane. Just can't do it. And sit there, reading or something. But yeah, I went to China once. Oh my God, that took like 8 days or something on a plane. It felt like, but it was like 12 hours, I think, Heathrow to Shanghai, something like that. But when you've watched a movie, read a book, watched another movie, gone up and gone for a piss and stuff, and you come back and there's still 8 hours left on the fucking GPS. Like, oh man.
Can I just intersect another rage point here? Have you ever listened to a podcast where one of the co-hosts has inadvertently knocked his microphone and not realised?
Quite often, yeah. Have you done that?
Maybe.
I didn't hear that.
I was hoping nobody would notice. I thought, if Adam does notice halfway through and he doesn't realise what I've actually done, he's going to be flipping because he'll be thinking there's something wrong with the sound, and really it was user error.
Oh, no, it sounds okay. I can clean that up in post.
Okay, there we go. So, the perfect crime.
There you go.
Apart from the fact I actually admitted it. Sorry, where were we?
Just flights and times and travel. It's horrible, isn't it? Yeah.
So this brings me on to the point that I recall back in around 2010, 2009, something like that, there was talk of this revolutionary new transportation system called the Hyperloop. Have you heard of it?
Yes. Elon's thing, isn't it?
Well, I think it was even before. I think it was pre-Elon Musk. Right. And essentially, if you don't know what it is, it was like imagine the London Tube, but with less vagrants.
We don't know that.
Pardon?
That was the plan, I suppose, but you never know who's going to end up down there, do you? It's nice
Indeed.
and warm.
Werewolves.
Yeah.
So imagine the tube system, but like it's a vacuum. So
yes,
and then the trains actually run on single rails, like a monorail, propelled by magnetic force.
Yes,
and because obviously it's in a near vacuum. I think it's a complete vacuum, but a near vacuum. So you've got minimal friction.
Yeah.
Powered by mags, they go ridiculously fast, like up to 800 miles an hour. I think they were suggesting at one point.
That's more than the speed of sound, isn't it? I can't remember what.
Well, now you imagine that. I think, no, I don't think it is quite there.
All right. I
don't think so. I think that would be problematic if you had a sonic boom going off in a thing. That would be. I don't know.
Well, it's a vacuum, so you wouldn't. Interesting.
Shockwave, though, wouldn't there?
Might be. Shit your pants for sure.
So let's assume that it was going to be about 100 miles an hour. So that would mean you'd be able to get on in London, take you to get to Paris 20 minutes.
Oh yeah. Now we're talking.
Now we're talking. Barcelona 50 minutes, and Rome 65 minutes, so a shade over an hour. And New York 4 hours.
Right.
And because these things wouldn't be like, you wouldn't have all the shit that you have in an airport, would you?
Yeah.
You're just like a train station, essentially.
Well, security probably, but even so, yeah. No, what freaks me out though is, what if it stops in the middle and you're trapped in a capsule with no air? Just game over then, isn't it?
Well, when you compare that to flying, though, I mean, you could make that same argument about flying, because that's batshit crazy when you think about it.
Yeah,
you're in some ridiculously thin aluminium tube, 35,000 feet in the air,
600 miles an hour.
Yeah. I mean, that's fairly bonkers. So I don't think the whole thing just seemed more civilized, but instead. By comparison, this is what we have. So that was in 2010. What we have in 2024. So I live 32 miles from London.
Right.
The train journey takes 55 minutes.
What?
So on average, that train's journey, 35 miles an hour, I guess?
Because it probably stops, does it? Stops every 5 minutes.
So London to Paris Eurostar, 2 hours and 16 minutes, but you have to go into central London because you can't go from Stratford or anywhere else anymore. So that's a ball ache in itself, isn't it? You've got to step across London.
At least an hour and a half to get to where to start your journey.
Yeah, and then there's the French side. They're going to be on strike, so that's And then there's the cost. I mean, taking a train in this country is obscenely expensive.
Yes, yeah.
So I researched to get to Manchester recently, and it was 120 quid on the train return, 70 by plane from Southampton. Southampton's a lot more civilized than Heathrow.
Hang on.
Drive in, car park's not far from the terminal. It was quite small.
Right.
But 70 quid on a plane and 120 on a train.
What?
Where is the logic in that?
That's ridiculous.
So not only is transportation now incredibly slow, comparatively speaking, it's stupidly expensive. And it's just shit, isn't it? I mean, really, there was a third one there just escaped me, so I'm just going to say it's shit.
This is the UK train station, right? Is where there might be a knackered vending machine.
Yes, selling Bovril.
Yeah, and it probably smells of piss just everywhere for no apparent reason. I mean, go on. This is compared with, where you've got in proper Europe, right, where mainland Europe, right, that's the word.
Yes,
right, where there's beautiful railway stations like what's that one, Antwerp. You've been there? It's a lovely railway. It's a beautiful old building, and the trains are all bang on time. And even in the Netherlands, it's a totally different, and it's reasonably priced as well. I think there's some European countries where the public transport is even free because they just want you to use it. That's
Luxembourg, I think, isn't it? Which, in fairness, is a diddly little country of. There's only tens of thousands of people live there, isn't it?
But it's that's the benefit, right? It's if you know that you don't need a car because you can just get on the transport, which is reliable, doesn't stink of piss, and is either cheap or free, then you're going to use that, aren't you? So it's.
And the more people that use it, the more money it makes, the more there is to invest.
Exactly.
But if you particularly with more people working from home these days, so therefore passenger numbers must be way down. So the logical thing that they do is go, well, we must put the prices up.
Yeah.
So therefore, when you're looking
left,
at it, I don't think there is a more expensive way to travel in the UK than the train. If you're looking at it on a pound per mile basis, it's got to be the most expensive way to travel.
Wow.
Which surely flies in the face of all of the environmental things that we're trying to do. Because I would rather, if I had to go to Manchester, I would much, much rather get on a train so I can sit and work for a couple of hours.
Yeah. Makes sense.
As opposed to drive.
Yes.
But when you factor in, the cost of petrol, even if it, goes up a bit, it is still probably, and wear and tear on the car, etc. I suspect it's probably something like 1/5 the cost of going, and in particularly if you're talking about you're going on your there's more than one person traveling,
right?
So if you're going with a partner, two of you is 240 quid on the train.
Hell. And
it's not costing you any extra in the car, is it?
Drive to the station and then pay for parking.
Yeah. It's so.
It is frustrating.
What sort of system why has transportation just gone backwards so badly? I mean, you remember British Rail, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
Now, I don't remember. Maybe it's because I'm looking back with rose-tinted glasses or whatever. I don't ever remember being A, this expensive, or B, this crap. I mean, maybe the actual trains themselves, the carriages were a bit ropey. Those old slam door things.
Yeah. So,
and obviously people could smoke on trains and stuff.
Yeah. Remember that?
But you I don't genuinely remember there being this expensive.
It does seem unnaturally overpriced. It's 120. You're like, what? And how do they? I suppose it's all been sold off to different companies, isn't it? That's what happened.
Yeah,
it's not,
stupid idea. It's like selling off water companies. I mean, it's whatever your political view, and I think there is polling that suggests this, and not to get political, because we don't do politics. But I think the vast majority of people would say in a country, look, things that you have to use, like water, like trains, where there is a monopoly, they should not be given to private companies. Exactly. We should let our incompetent governments run them. Because they're so good at it.
Yeah.
So they too can hire, what was it again? A director of...
The situational awareness.
Situational awareness for National Rail or whatever it may be.
Maybe there is one. He's like, I know what's going on.
There's a situation and I'm aware of it. Next, I'm fucking off home. Pub. And my final point on this, and this is the one that I know is going to particularly appeal to you, because all these smug EV drivers, the people who've been out and bought their electric vehicles, right?
Yeah.
With all manner of wizardry, technology, and some now that have almost full what's the word?
Autonomy. Yeah.
Autonomous capabilities.
Yeah.
So you've got all of that. You're still sat in that same queue of traffic that's going nowhere as someone who's driving around in a 40-year-old shitbox.
Well, that is true, right? But no, I got stuck in traffic in Cork a while back. And my God, traffic in Cork is just fucking ridiculous, right? It probably took an hour and a half to go about 2 miles across the city.
Is that normal? Or was it just a bad day?
No, I think it's normal now. I don't know what happened. I remember driving around in Ireland and it not being that shit, but something has happened. I suppose we've got more people. And now...
Well, it's the one thing you can't... Odds, isn't it? I suppose you can build more hospitals, more schools.
Right. Roads, though.
Roads are bastards to build
pretty
because
much stuck with what?
They have to go somewhere. And there's normally stuff where they need to go.
Yeah. But anyway, so I was stuck in traffic in my lovely EV. But you know what? It wasn't chugging away, outputting smoke the whole time. It was just sat there silently, using almost...
Still burning electric though, isn't it?
No, not really. When you're not moving, it doesn't use anything at all. It just
you must have heating or...
Well, I don't...
It's stereo.
it uses
stereo.
almost nothing.
That's aging us, isn't it? Stereo. Yeah, tape deck. That must use a bit of juice.
Barely any. I could probably sit in traffic for like 20 hours and not really nudge.
Come to Surrey.
Yeah.
that's a school run.
Nice. But and also then my car senses when the car in front moves and it just nudges along behind it, so I don't have to do anything.
Okay, but you're still in traffic. Your time is the same. You're taking the same amount of time to do that journey as the person behind you in the shit box. That's kind of my point, I guess. Is that
fair enough.
We are advancing rapidly with technology to the point where cars are virtually able to drive themselves. In fact, I say virtually, they can do, can't they?
Well, I wouldn't actually trust it to do the whole driving, but you're getting there. But
we don't actually have the roads.
No, and it's not really a solvable problem, is it? I mean, imagine the cost of drilling a tunnel from London to New York. It's just.
I guess the only thing is, down the line, the only way I can see this being solved is where people don't own cars.
Oof.
And you have an app, and essentially there's a fleet of autonomous vehicles.
Yeah, I don't like that idea.
That just turn up at your door, but there's so many of them, and the system's so slick that it will arrive at your door within 2 minutes. And you hop in, go where you want to go, get out, and then you repeat. So things like going to the shops or to the gym or those sort of lots of short journeys, you wouldn't need a car really. That's the only way I can see out of this, because it's
if you live in a city or even a built up area, I suppose that might work. But where I am, that's not going to work. The cows.
Well, or the other option is that governments just tax everyone off the roads because they can. I suppose that's possibly the other way.
That's what they're going to do, probably, right? That's I mean, you can't drive in London anymore, can you? It's all
well, you can if you've got some money, but there's the congestion zone, and then there's the ULEZ zone, and they're launching them all over the country in different cities. These
zones,
ULEZ zones, and they're spreading out as well. So the London one now goes down into Kent and bits of Surrey,
really?
and
bloody hell.
I think it's almost the entirety of the with everything within the M25 now. Right. So you're living in this sort of semi-rural small town in Kent, and then suddenly you're having to pay the London ULEZ charge just to chug across town in your 30-year-old shitbox.
Yeah, that's not good, is it?
No, it's but that's I suppose the way they look at it. Go, well, if we can get more people off the roads, then we can't make more roads, so we need to reduce the amount of cars.
Yeah, but then you need to have. You can't have one. You need to have the transport system, the buses or the trains or whatever, and they need to not stink of piss, and they need to run on time. Go to Antwerp and look at what they did there, and then come back and make a plan, because
it seems to be that they do one thing without actually having the other thing in place. It's like, and I think we could all agree with like a greener planet and a better environment. I think everyone's on board with that, but sort it out properly. Yeah. Don't give away the national infrastructure. Okay, that's the first thing.
Right.
Secondly, don't make it so expensive to drive that people have to then go to trains that are equally stupidly expensive. Slow and unreliable, and 55 minutes to do a 32-mile journey.
That's
Come on.
Crazy, yeah. That is crazy. Yeah, it should
anyway,
be.
That's right. So I'm going to stop ranting, because I'm going to go down a rabbit hole here, and it's feeling like a political one. We don't do politics, so we're going to leave that one there.
You make a good point. Yes. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to go somewhere without it taking 7 hours?
100%.
Yeah.
Beer?
Yeah. Right.
See you in 28 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So, should we talk about, have you got a happy ending for us this week?
Well, a little bit, yeah. So continuing my last episode's sort of vague mental health for blokes theme, where last time I cleaned my desk, I think My desk is still nice and clean, by the way. So that's
Excellent.
nice. Just loving that.
What's the adage? The mantra?
Tidy desk, tidy mind, something like that.
That's it.
So yeah, it's slightly working. But today I was at my day job and everyone was being an asshole, and I was like, you know what? I'm going for a walk. And so I walked away from the computer. This is probably ridiculous, right? Probably people have worked this out a long time ago and do it. But I usually just sit at my desk all day and you know, I have a million meetings and 10 billion emails in between, right? And I just don't get time. I sometimes get to 4 o'clock and I realize I haven't had breakfast yet, you know, so it's chaotic, right? But today I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. And I live near a beach and I just went, it was a nice day. It's not anymore. It's pissing rain now, right? But I got a rain warning. But earlier today, it was a lovely day. And I went for a walk down to the little beach near me and just sat there for 10 minutes and walked back. And it was lovely to just get the head clear. So that's my happy ending, is I went for a nice walk. Because I don't normally think to do that, right? And I think maybe if you're really crazy busy, you know, in your life and work and whatever, it's just sometimes you just have to say, I'm going to walk away for a minute and I'm not going to take my work phone or anything and just be disconnected and chill and let the sea air breeze across. So
I think, you're very lucky that you've got a beach. I think a lot of people would love to just go and stand on a beach for even just 10 minutes, just take some deep breaths and go, actually go nothing. Just don't think of anything. Just, shut down.
The stinky seaweed was a bit of a put off.
You had to ruin it, didn't you? Had to ruin it.
Well, because of Ashley, right, recently, all of the seaweed just churned up on the beach, so it was a little bit stinky. But it's still nice. But anyway, you do. You're right. It is nice to have a beach, and I have one, so might as well use it, right? I was the only person there, literally, just completely empty.
That's my kind of beach.
Yeah. It's lovely. So
well, we were saying off air, weren't we, that if everyone that had how can we put this, issues with their mental health, if doctors said, I prescribe a 1 hour walk somewhere quiet, you know, even not necessarily quiet, but just a walk somewhere away from traffic at least for an hour every day for 14 days, how many of those people would actually come back if they did that full hour walk every day for 14 days? How many would actually feel better just by doing that one thing?
Yeah. I think it would. Yeah, rather than, you know, people talk about mindfulness and meditation again, right? These are words that scare the bejesus out of me, right? So I shy away from that. But you know, going for a walk, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just what normal people do, right? So
but it's disconnecting, isn't it? And I know that sounds a wanky thing to say, but it is unplugging, getting away from the constant flashing pixels and beeps and God knows what else of our digital worlds, and just being you might have to clip this up because this is possibly going to be the wankiest thing I've ever said on a podcast, but connecting with the outside, you know, just
nature. All
stuff.
That crap.
Just non sort of organic stuff. It's just, I think it's great, and it gives you a good opportunity just to process stuff without.
That's it. Yeah.
You know, distractions going on. It's I'd highly recommend it.
Yeah. I mean,
there we go.
Probably most people do it already, right? And
they do. Yeah, most people have been walking for probably 300,000 years, I guess. But welcome to Adam Eccles, late to the party. But good to have you here.
I normally sit on my arse all day. You see, that's the problem, right? So, so get out, have a walk. But
excellent.
You don't have to make it wanky. So that's
no, you don't have to do any of that stuff. That's not obligatory. Just walk. I mean, literally just walk.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. I would even suggest don't, because the temptation is to put some headphones in, earbuds.
No, I didn't do that. Yeah.
No, I did. I
Or,
used to, and then I found I was just bringing the rage with me.
right, yeah, with the
I would
podcast.
listen to podcasts, and they would make me angry. Of course, if you're listening to the Middle Rage podcast,
this is cathartic as well, right?
It is. It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
So I'd say take us with you, but leave the rest behind.
That's it,
You don't want those fuckers, getting in your head while you're trying to.
And you don't
chillax.
have to record your workout or gamify it or fucking measure the distance. Doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter how many steps you take. Just do it because you've
done them. Whether you measured them or not, they are done.
Yeah. Because I think that makes it all. That takes away the niceness of it. It just turns it back into, well, I've got to do my steps.
Yeah.
Fuck that. You don't. You just have to walk for a bit until you don't want to.
Simple.
Anyway, happy ending.
Excellent. My happy ending is that the audiobook of my latest novel, No Easy Deeds, is imminently going to land on Audible and what's that stupid Apple site called where they sell audiobooks?
Oh, just Apple Books, I think. Apple Books.
No, it's not the book one. I think it's the iTunes.
Oh yeah, okay.
Is that where Apple do their book things?
I
Yeah.
don't know. But
yeah. So that's all been wrapped up, and unfortunately, the process once Amazon get their grubby mitts on the finished product is it's slower than a train from Manchester
Aberdeen.
It's painstaking, and there's nothing I can do about that.
No.
But I'm just happy that I've signed the thing off and it's gone, because it's, as you will know, reviewing an audiobook, as good as the narrator is, there's always going to be one or two little hiccups in there, so you have to listen to the whole thing. And normally by the point that you listen to it, you've already read it 10, 15 times. You probably listened to it 2 or 3 times. You are sick of it. So having to listen back to it carefully is excruciating.
That's not the best.
So I was very relieved that process is out of the way. I'm absolutely chuffed with the finished product. And again, Adam and I were talking off air about how hard narration actually is. I've done it again. My microphone. Why does it keep doing that? I think my little office is haunted. Why does that keep happening?
Don't know.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Where was that? Yeah. So anyone that can narrate a book for 11, 12 hours, I mean, Jesus, it's full credit to them.
There's a lot of work, isn't it? Yeah. No, and it's acting and not just reading. That's what a lot of people forget, right? When you're doing an audiobook properly, nicely, it's an acting role, and you're playing every character as well. So
and remembering to do the different accents
voices,
and voices, and it's just I was saying to Adam that I had to do a little bit at the end, like 3 paragraphs of text, like an author's note, and I ballsed it up 7 or 8 times consecutively, and it took forever just to do 3 paragraphs. And all I was doing was just reading text. There was no accents, no voices, no intonation necessarily. It was abysmal. It gave me a whole new level of respect for anyone who can professionally narrate.
Absolutely. Good. So looking forward to that. We don't know exactly when it will land.
We are thinking it will land on Halloween.
Oh, brilliant.
When is Halloween? 31st, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. So
it will land on Halloween.
Excellent.
I didn't know when Halloween was. Halloween. I don't know why I forgot that.
Right. Well, that's something to look forward to. Excellent.
Indeed. So by the time that we have the next episode, I'll be able to report back and you'll be able to buy it. So there we go.
Stuff.
Whatever people do with audiobooks, I don't know. Buy credits and
get it.
Stuff.
Credit and get it. I shall have 1 credit left by then, so I'll be using that to have a listen, because it's
at least someone's going to buy it. That's good to know. And on that note, I think that's us done. We've gone long again, and I hope we haven't pushed our luck with your valuable time, or we've given you value for money. And by value for money, I mean if you were to go to buymeacoffee.com patreon.com/middle-aged
Yes.
and buy us a coffee. And in return, we'll give you a gentle roasting, and we may even get your name right.
That's right. Oh, one other thing is somebody's birthday coming up, isn't it? So,
yes, there is indeed. Well remembered. Avid reader of our mutual novels and a listener to this podcast. And we're going out on a limb here, aren't we? Because we said that we wouldn't go down this particular route where we become 1980s disc jockeys.
Radio disc jockeys, yeah.
But I think if anyone is deserving of a birthday shout out, we're going to call it that.
Yeah,
that'll be the lovely Denise, and Denise knows who Denise is. One would hope Denise knows who Denise is.
Yes.
And I also hope that we're pronouncing Denise right. Surely that can't be any other thing, can it? It's got to be Denise.
Denise?
Denise?
Denise? Nah. Probably
Let's run with Denise, shall we? Another apology will be forthcoming. But Denise is, she's hitting the big 5-0 on Monday.
Nice.
Do you have any advice as a chap already well into his 50s?
No, well, I did, that was just this year that I did.
Well,
that.
you're into your 50s, then, aren't you? So,
into them. Yeah.
We can both say that we're in our 50s now. So, we're basically on a par. We're on the same level.
When I was, when you were young, so 40s, I reckon 40s you can get away with, right? But 50s, that sounds like you're proper old, doesn't it?
Well, do you know what the saying is? 40s is the old age of youth, and 50s is the youth of old age.
Didn't know that one.
Fucking depressing.
Christ.
Essentially, it is 50s is the same as 40s. Just, I think you just got creakier joints and and a lower tolerance of everything.
Zero tolerance for stupid shit.
That's about the only difference. If you've noticed anything, listeners, about 50s that we may share on the next episode, then unless it's some sort of weird bodily thing.
No, I don't want to know. Yeah,
keep that to yourself.
If you have to use a bag.
Oh God, or a towelette. We don't want to know anything that happens below the waist.
Yeah, no, keep that.
Actually, no, just anything. I mean, we're talking sort of more, lifestyle type stuff. Yeah. So, what are you aware of Saga? Do you know
Icelandic
who Saga
stories?
Pardon?
Is that Icelandic stories?
No, no. Saga is a big company over here, and they started off selling. I think they used to sell stair lifts or. They used to do sort of stuff for old people, like they'd send a catalogue round. Yeah. Some of this, like these things that you'd use to pick up a piece of litter off the floor, like a grabber.
Yes.
I don't think you can call them grabbers anymore, but I think that's how they started. But essentially, they just become connected with old people.
Okay.
But then they started branching out into holidays and insurance and all sorts of stuff.
Right. Okay.
So it's a big company now. But I always thought it was for old people. Yeah. But
no.
50. That's the age you need to be to start taking advantage of the Saga stuff.
So you're going to be getting what's it called, the hearing aids and
all that sort of stuff, and just basically constant reminders that your body is failing you.
Apart, nice.
Yeah, and there's probably funeral plans and all that sort of shite.
Buy your plot now.
Why would you want to waste your money now?
I know. I don't get that at all. Some people do buy.
You're not going to give a fuck, are you? No. Chuck me in a ditch and cover me with tarpaulin. I don't care. I'll be dead.
Exactly. I said to people, just chuck me in the sea because I'm not fucking paying for all that crap.
Certainly not when I'm alive. I'm not going to take money I can spend when I'm alive to enjoy,
this is what I don't.
They're not cheap, are they?
No.
We're supposed to have a happy ending, and we've actually ended up on funerals. If anything's going to sum up our general style, that would be it. We've taken a happy thing and we've made it about death.
Oh, great. Dear. Okay. Moving swiftly.
There we are. But we hope you have a lovely time, Denise, even though your 50th is on a Monday, which has got to be the shittest day to have a significant birthday.
Take solace in the fact that it's a bank holiday here in Ireland and I won't be doing any work.
There we go. If you head off to Ireland, I'm sure Adam will and keep you entertained
Put
for
the kettle on.
the day.
Custard creams.
Custard creams. Right, that's us done. Thank you very much for staying with us till well into an hour and 20 something.
Lovely.
And we will see you for episode 13 in exactly 2 weeks' time.
There you go. See you then. Bye-bye.